Namo Vishnupada Krishna Presta Upadesa Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Vishnupada Krishna Presta Upadesa Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Sarasvatī Deve Gauravani Nirvishesha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsavi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So here we are assembled to discuss, to study Srila Prabhupāda's purpose to Rupa Goswami's book Upadesa-prakasika, or Nectar of Instruction. Here is some on the screen. You can see some of the quotes of Srila Prabhupada speaking about Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami appeared in year 1489. This appeared in 1564, so 500 years ago. You know, he was eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. Indeed, he is also eternal associate of Lord Krishna in the spiritual world. So, Srila Prabhupada is on the bank of dāsa at Prayag. For 10 days continuously, Lord instructed Rupa Goswami in science of devotional service to the Lord. So these are direct instructions from Lord Chaitanya. Now we know Lord Chaitanya is Yuga Avatar. He came to establish Yuga Dharma, the Harinam Sankirtan, and to deliver the conditioned souls. Now that is his mission. He brought only few shlokas, Shikshashtaka himself, but he instructed his disciples, associates, and then given them instruction to write books. So different associates, he spoke to them in different places. Ramananda Rai, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, spoke to Haridas Ṭhākura. So many books came out of science of bhakti. So here, Srila Prabhupada, these are Srila Prabhupada's words. What happened in Dāsa in Prayag, Lord Chaitanya instructed him on the science of devotional service. So this he is empowered by Lord Chaitanya to deliver that knowledge to the conditioned soul. Lord Chaitanya spoke few shlokas, but then he empowered his associates, disciples, to actually deliver that science, to elaborate it, explain it, publish the books and give for the benefit of the conditioned souls. Okay, so now Prabhupada summarized all this. That's Ashwamedha Ghat in Prayag. This is explaining Chaitanya Charitamrita. He told the Goswami the visions of living creatures in 84 legs of species of life. Then he taught him about human species. Out of them he selected followers of Vedic principles. Out of them fruity workers. Out of them empiric philosophers. So we go from karma kanda, karmis, then jnanis, then out of them liberated souls, those who are striving for moksha. Among liberated souls there are only few who are actually pure devotees of the Lord Krishna. So then came to devotional service. Then the Lord taught the Rupa Goswami about devotional service, comparing to a creeper. Remember famous example that the Bhakti Lata beach and the creeper goes to the coverings of the universe, and then reaches ultimately in the spiritual world, the lotus feet of Krishna. So he advised him to protect Bhakti creeper most carefully against mad elephant offense. What is that offense? Mad elephant offense? Vaishnava offense to devotee, because this is what can stop growth of bhakti. This is what is impediment of the process of developing love for God. In addition, the kripa has to be protected from desire of sense enjoyment, monastic liberation, desire of moksha, and perfection of hatha yoga system. What is perfection of hatha yoga system? The siddhis, the 8 or 9 different siddhis are mentioned. They are all detrimental on the path of devotional service. These are all obstacles. So this is summary Prabhupada gives here, okay? Devotional service is conducted under 2 categories. Then he explained to him, primary practice and spontaneous emotion. What is this? Sadhana, Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti, not sadhana. Vaidhi Bhakti is wrong. Because Raganuga can be also sadhana practice. So Vaidhi Bhakti, that impetus for devotional service is instruction of Shastra and order of Guru. And the Raga Bhakti, when they spontaneously one feels to serve Krishna. So this is explained by Rupa Goswami in famous book, Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti-rasa-mrita-sindhu. These are all topics further elaborated. When one can rise to platform of spontaneous emotion, he can make further progress by spiritual attachment, feeling love, and many high stages of devotional life for which there are no English words. So here, Srila Prabhupada simply explained the stage of Ruchi, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav and Prem, and then in Prem there is Mahabhav, there are different stages. So you say there are many higher stages for which there are no English words. And it's a fact, even word rasa, how you say in English, it was difficult to spell it out. Prabhupada has to invent some words, modes of material nature. If you go to British man, Englishman, Oxford professor and tell him modes of material nature, he blink his eyes. It's not there in Oxford dictionary. Not yet, it will come. Supreme personality of Godhead, for example. So, there is Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is personality of Godhead, when it refers to Vishnu Tattva. So like that is the context. So here, we have tried to explain the science of devotional service in our book, The Nectar of Devotion, based on the authority of Bhakti-rasa-mrita-sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. So here, this is amazing book. Srila Prabhupada has to all the divisions of bhakti, all the rasa divisions, all the rasa definitions, Srila Prabhupada has to put in English that common man could follow. And it's difficult one. It's difficult one because there is no background to the culture, there is no background what is bhav, what is prem. Even in Hindi you could follow up something, you could understand something. They know what is bhav, what is prem, these words. Consciousness, attachment, priti, rati, asakti. It's a part of the language, part of the culture. But there you are speaking to the Western people completely unaware of any of this. Only one word was known in the West is lust. So everything has to be clear. It's not lust, it's not sexual attachment, it's not material attachment, it's not attachment to the body, it's not temporary attachment, it's not for sense gratification. All the time he has to clarify. Every time the word love of God is used, he has to clarify what is kama, what is prema, and like that. Okay. Then Srila Prabhupada said, thus he instructed Rupa Goswami in devotional science and deputed him to Vrindavan. So by order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami was sent to Vrindavan to excavate lost sites of transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This is second mission to Rupa Goswami apart from writing books, is that to excavate the lost sites of Krishna's pastimes. Because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan, it was a small village and most of the glorious holy places, holy kshetras there were lost and forgotten, covered up. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking for Radha-kund. And what was there? It's in the middle of the rice field. There was a small pond, hardly maybe 6 by 6 feet. Hardly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could bath inside. That was the size of Radha-kund. But when he bathed, he started jumping in ecstasy. And he said, that is Radha-kund. And later on, by the Rupa Goswamis and Sanatana Goswamis endeavors, the beautiful kunda was excavated by the villagers and the kings and supplied the stone and workers to make. And look at now what we have. We have Radha-kund and Shyama-kund, huge transcendental ponds. And this book is about that. This book is about ultimately glorifying Radha-kund. Now, other things were also done in excavation. Srila Rupa Goswami discovered the deity of Radha Govindaji, which were originally carved by King Vajranabha, the great grandson of Lord Krishna. When Krishna left 5,000 years ago, his grandson Vajranabha, whatever other people were there who seen Krishna, he went on asking them how Krishna looks like. I want to carve a murti exactly to be like Krishna. So then the famous 3 murtis were carved, Govindaji, Gopinath and Madan Mohan, where people who were seeing Krishna in themselves in Krishna's prakata leelas, when Krishna was walking on this planet, they describe that yes, Madan Mohan looks feet exactly like Krishna, and the face of Govindaji and the Gopinath's chest, these three deities that resemble exactly features of Krishna. So those deities were also lost in 5,000 years. Those temples were lost, deities were hidden under the ground. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, Bhugarbha Goswami to rediscover those deities. So they did. Rupa Goswami found Govindaji's deity, which is now kept in Jaipur. It was found in Vrindavan on the top of the hill where one day cow will come and pour the milk on one particular place, and the villagers say something unusual is happening there. So when Rupa Goswami inquired and had a vision that Murti is there, they dug it out and they brought beautiful Govindaji's deity. Then they built a temple. Man Singh, king from Jaipur, he built a temple, and Akbar himself donated stone for the temple and gave him permission to build the temple. Or something like that. He gave permission and Man Singh brought the stone, something. The beautiful red temple, 7-story temple in Vrindavan. Now you can see 2 stories on it. The great grandson of Akbar destroyed the temple later on Aurangzeb. So anyway, they did that. They did what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them. They excavated the place. Sanatana Goswami found the Madan Mohan. Lokanath Goswami found Rādhā-ramaṇa deity. Then, all those glories of Krishna's Murti's temples were re-established. Madhu Pandit found Gopinath. Like that. These are all deities. These are not carved, newly carved. Newly carved may be Radha Damodar. Radha Damodar deity was carved by Rupa Goswami and given gift to Jiva Goswami to worship. So many things happen. Actually, because of the 6 Goswamis in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vrindavan is today what it is. That we know that there are temples, there are different Leela places. We know the Govardhan, we know the Radha Kund, Shyama Kund, we know where is the Gokul, we know Nandagram, Varshana, we know all the places around the Leela Stavas because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, the Srila Prabhupada speaks. After this, Lord returned to Varanasi and delivered the sannyasis and instructed the elder brother of Rupa Goswami. Now, after instructing Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami also. So Srila Prabhupada goes on speaking about the qualities of Rupa Goswami here. Avyakta Kala Tvam. A Krishna conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of his life without being engaged in service of the Lord. Therefore, Rupa Goswami's sleeping is kept to a minimum. He is ideal in this aspect, Srila Rupa Goswami, who is always engaged in service of Krishna, who could not sleep more than 2 hours a day, sometimes not even that. Of course, Srila Prabhupada himself was an example of that. So this is very amazing quality of a pure devotee. They were always discussing Krishna's pastimes. They were always discussing philosophy. They were writing books. They were excavating the places. They were studying Bhagavatam together. They were discussing Bhagavatam together in Vrindavan, in different places. Later on, Srila Jiva Goswami purchased the land of Radha Damodar temple, where that became first, institutionalized property of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because before that was under different tree, sleeping, Even after that, they went to continue sleeping under different tree, but they would gather at that place. And that place of Radha Damodar temple actually is the place where the Ras Leela was performed. This is part of the Sevakunj. So this is the first official property of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and this was the place where they would daily discuss Bhagavatam, Goswamis. This is the place where Jiva Goswami trained others, like Narottam Das Ṭhākura, Shyamananda Pandit, Srinivasacharya. They were all trained by Jiva Goswami, and then they would copy the books of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Jiva Goswami, and they went to distribute them around India, actually particularly in Bengal, where there were other Gaudiya Vaishnavas there. So these are all things done by Goswāmis, and they were, very exalted personalities, very great sadhus. Srila Prabhupada says like this: the first duty of a person in renounced order of life is to contribute some literary work for the benefit of human being in order to give realized direction towards self-realization. So here Srila Prabhupada said this is the duty of sannyasi, this is the duty of pure devotee, to deliver others by contributing literal work. So all the Goswāmis, they wrote books. This is our parampara. Srila Prabhupada said, my disciples should write more books than me, which is a challenge because Srila Prabhupada wrote so many books. But if you see Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he wrote more books than Srila Prabhupada. More books he wrote, more titles he published than Srila Prabhupada. Srila Jiva Goswami, he published so many books also, and he published the most philosophical Shatsandarbhas, 6 theses of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Most amazing. Most amazing. We were, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, we were with Basu Ghosh Prabhu visiting different Sanskrit Pandits. So we met a few of Sri Vaishnava Acharyas that time who were very prominent. And one of them was, even now he is alive, 80 years old, Sriman Lakshmi Tatacharya, who stays in Melkote, and he is a big Pandit and follower of Sri Vaishnavism. So we went to his house in Melkote. Basu Ghosh Prabhu and kindly he took myself with him. So we came to the house and he was just giving class to a group of some 15-20 Brahmanas were sitting there, and he is speaking from the Vishishtadvaita, from the Ramanujacharya's philosophy. He was speaking something and he said, here are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we came, we offered pranam, they were very respectful. Say, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, you in South India Brahmins, you don't know Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He starts speaking. You don't know Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The greatest Acharya of all, Jiva Goswami. My God, if you read his books, what a philosophy, what a explanations, what a depth. There is no philosopher in the world than Jiva Goswami. And then he started quoting the books. Paramatma Sandarbha, Bhagavad Sandarbha, this one, that one, goes on, And I'm here, I'm the Gaudiya Vaishnava with a tilak. I'm thinking, I never heard about this book. Shame on us, Then he said, and Gaudiya Vaishnava, what is their speciality? 2 things. One is Swami Prabhupāda, he spread it all over the world, Krishna Bhakti. They did it, we didn't do it. We are struggling to preserve it in our community. He did it. Second thing is, if you want to know about rasa, then you have to go to Rupa Goswami. They only explain this. We all mention, Tirupāvai mentions, Madhurya Rasa is there, Vatsala Rasa is there, Sakya Rasa is there. He knows. He read the book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, read it in Sanskrit. He is glorifying Rupa Goswami. Then he started quoting Rupa Goswami. And then Natakas, what was that Nataka? Then Basu Ghosh Prabhu said, Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava. He's quoting Rupa Goswami's books, Sri Vaishnava Pandit, Then I said, after this meeting, I said, Basu Ghosh Prabhu, give me a list of books, I want to see what are the books, what is Prabhupada speaking about it, It's amazing. It's amazing how actually he glorified, because people know. People who are pandits, who are learned, they know what is the contribution of Gaudiya Vaishnava to the spiritualism, to the path of bhakti particularly. And he mentioned very clearly, you want to know about rasas, the intimate relation with Krishna, then you have to go to Rupa Goswami. So this is the unique contribution of Rupa Goswami. That this will be explained here. So, book contribution, they know, the Pandits they know that our Goswamis, followers, disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are the biggest contribution they did. Amongst other duties in rounds of their life of Sri Sanatana Rupa and other Goswamis, the foremost duty discharged by them was to hold learned discourses among themselves at Sevakunj, Vrindavan. So this is for the benefit of all in human society, they left behind them immense literatures of transcendental importance. So here, in Srila Jiva Goswami Laghu Vaishnava Toshani commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, we find the following authoritative list of literatures Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī composed. 𝐿. This is an amazing book where Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī expresses the emotions of gopis after Krishna left from Mathura. Uddhava Sandesh, Krishna Janma Titividi, Shri Brihad Krishna Ganodesha Dipika, Shri Laghu Krishna Ganodesha Dipika, Shri Stavamala. Shri Vidagdam Stavamala is published by Shri Gopi Parana Prabhu, translated and commented and published by him. Shri Vidagda Madhava Nataka, Lalita Madhava Nataka, Dana Keli Kamudim, Shri Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu. Now Bhakti-Rasamrita-Sindhu, our Nityananda Prabhu just went to the Sanskrit and they did a book from the BBT now. It's going to come up soon. Our Nityananda Prabhu did it, the translation from Sanskrit, which will include Sanskrit shlokas, word-to-word translation, and commentaries of Jiva Goswami and Vishwan Chakravarti Ṭhākura. So, though Bhanu Maharaj published already the book, but the BBT version is quite more detailed and, more scholarly presented. Okay, so Shri Ujjvala Nilamani, this is the book where Rupa Goswami describes all the divisions of rasas, all the divisions of gopis, all the divisions, the relations to Krishna. This is a rasa tattva book, you may say. These are not leelas described here, these are the rasa divisions described. Shri Nataka Chandrika Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Śrīla Sanatana Goswami wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which is his own commentary on Bhagavatam, you may say, and he commented on it. He wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami, and he wrote commentary on it himself. Now, it's a huge book, it's a great details, it's amazing writing. It explains the gradations of bhakti and also explains the divisions of destination from the earth to the Goloka, all the journey of the soul, of the sadhaka. How sadhaka comes out of this material world. It's an amazing book. One book, 2 volumes are there. In first volume, Narada Muni asks, who is the greatest devotee? He goes to different people and goes to different demigods, goes to Brahma, to Prahlad Maharaj, to Ayodhya, goes to Dwaraka like this, and finally comes to Vrindavan. And he established the gopis as the topmost devotees. And another book explains how Gopakumar, a sadhaka who practiced bhakti under the guidance of Guru from Vrindavan, how he went out of material world, went to all the higher planetary system, went to the coverings, went to the Pradhana, went to the Brahman, went to Vaikuntha, went to Dwaraka, and then again came to Vrindavan. So this is amazing books. So, Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Śrīla Rupa Goswami summarized the essence of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and particularly he explains that he established in the book Laghu Bhagavatamrita that Swayam Rupa, the original form of Krishna, Govinda, Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj, Vrindavan Krishna we would say, that his form is superior form to any other avatars, to any other forms. From that form, from Swayam Rupa, all other divisions expands. So he explains all avatars divisions in Swayam Rupa, Tadikatma Rupa, Vesha Rupa, then all the subdivisions of the avatars, Manvataras, Gunavataras, Leelavataras, Shaktavesha-avataras, and Purusha-avataras. He describes full division figures. And there he establishes that higher than all avatars is Lord Nrsimhadev, Lord Ram and Krishna. And then amongst 3 he established Krishna's form is superior also. So it's amazing, Laghu Bhagavatamrita, we have a book. Okay, then Samanya Virudavali, Lakshana and Upadesa-amrita. Now this is the book we are going to discuss, Sri Upadesa-amrita. Now we requested all devotees to read the Upadesa-amrita preface and the first shloka. Is everybody did? Yes? Okay, thank you very much. Good. So, Now it's okay. Let's see from the book itself. Okay, here. This is the preface of the book. First thing Srila Prabhupada explained, first paragraph of the preface, is position of Rupa Goswami, of Srila Rupa Goswami, and the purpose of the book. This is what you find at the beginning. The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Now this is the first line Prabhupada says in the preface. His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Maharaj given 4 lectures by more than 1 hour each lecture, is on preface of Nectar of Instruction. So this is amazing. I took notes from that. It's a very, very amazing way Maharaj explains. Because look at these statements. Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. What does it tell you? What does it Prabhupada say? See the sentence? Is conducted under supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Conducted means is running. Is still running and is supervised by the Srila Rupa Goswami. That's what it says in English. Correct? Is established, yes. And is conducted, correct? Gopalacharya, you are English teacher. What does it mean, the sentence? No? It means that is conducted, that this movement is today running under supervision of Rupa Goswami. Okay, so this is, something to consider. Correct? Well, that's... just 1 second. Okay, so here, I was thinking about this. This is a big statement. This is a very amazing statement. First, it tells us that this movement is guided from the spiritual world. Srila Prabhupada said that ISKCON and Krishna are not different. This is very amazing. That ISKCON and Krishna are not different. Usually we understand there is institution and then there is a spiritual practice and philosophy, something else. But Prabhupada is saying no, this movement is meant to deliver the soul. It's not different from Krishna. And is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So Srila Rupa Goswami is the Acharya who was instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread bhakti. Okay, he received knowledge from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about devotion and instructed, you spread this. You make it available for sadhakas, for new neophytes, for newcomers. Deliver the conditioned soul. So the system explained in Rupa Goswami's books is what we follow in ISKCON. This is what we follow in ISKCON. Remember Nectar of Devotion, how many rules, regulations are given. Definitions of bhakti. The gradations of bhakti. Vaidhi bhakti. Raga bhakti. Everything is described there. And this is what we follow. Our morning program is based on Rupa Goswami's teachings. Prabhupada instituted, but is based and is under supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Now this is very amazing incident that Srila Prabhupada was asked by his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura Prabhupada, to go to the Western countries and preach there. Okay, what is the mission? Mission is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Jara Rekho Tareko Krishna Upadesa, Amara Gya Guru Hai, Thare Desh. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, you give him Krishna Bhakti, give him Krishna's name, tell him Krishna Upadesa, instruction of Krishna. Sarva-dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam. Chant the holy name of Krishna. No? Priti vidyachi katanadharadigram. Sarvatra prachara hoya moranam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that my name will be chanted all over the world, every town and every village. Now, this is the Rupa Goswami's mission. This is the instruction to him. He wrote the books. Now they wrote the books, they set up everything. They set up the details. How sadhaka can actually be lifted up. If you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, the way he spread Krishna Bhakti is a little different than what we are doing. It's different externally, but in essence there is no difference. But what I'm saying is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't hold, okay, now japa class we have, and then we have, you come for morning Mangalarati. He would come and sing, and he would see you or embrace you, and you're gone. You are already jumping, dancing in love of God. That is how he spread it. You can see there was no, for sadhakas, first step, second step, third step. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, the whole village becomes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Everybody will chant. Remember, the fisherman, the ghost, actually the ghost possessed me. But that is exactly what it is. It's a ghost of love of God. Yeah? He met Chaitanya, he touched Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with that love of God. The person who was shaving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he took sannyas, he was from one village, he came, they called him to shave him, he shaved him and he went on chanting. When he came to his village, all village chanted. When Gaudiya Vaishnava went from Bengal, they went to Puri to attend Rath-yatra, they went to that village. And they said, what is this? Everyone is chanting in this village. They said, he came, he was first one, he came made. And now everybody in the village is made, everybody chanting holy name only. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mystical way of distributing love of God as he liked. Not that you have to write first exam, then you come after 6 months, then you will see, then second exam, then you have to do this. It was not exactly like that. Okay. And of course, those people moving around Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not that they are ordinary souls also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes with his associates also, Krishna Vanamsha Krishna Sangha Pangastra Pasha. Sangha, his own associate, Pangastra, with his weapons. His associates are there. So, this was the way in Chaitanya Charitamrita you can see, there was not exactly as we are doing today. We go to house, we do house program, then slowly preach to people, then ask them to shave mustaches and stop garlic onion. It was very, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself spreading love of God. Now, we are doing same thing. Means the movement, ISKCON movement is doing same thing, spreading love of God. But we have to do it a little bit more on our level. We are not to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can't imitate that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu make dog chant Hare Krishna. You remember? Shivananda Sen's dog. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, went to Vaikuntha. And it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Trees, palm trees, he embraced and they went back to God. The animals, Jarikhand forest, everybody was chanting. When I read that Lila, I thought, okay, animals also included. Maybe I'm also included, if animals are also included, So, the way it's done today is explained by Rupa Goswāmī. He explained this Vaidhi Bhakti, as we say, sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Vaidhi Bhakti. The process, the practice which will make us purified, gradual purification. We follow the rules, regulation for purification. We serve, we chant, and follow rules, regulation for purification. Rules, regulation, conduct also, for principles, plus all other rules we follow, so that we get purified, so that slowly we can come to the level of spontaneous devotion. When we'll feel attachment to Krishna, we like chanting, we like to come to Mangalarati, we like to dance, we like to serve Krishna. That level will come. So this is explained by Rupa Goswāmī. Therefore, this whole movement is conducted by the guidance and under supervision of Rupa Goswāmī. And this is Guru Maharaj explained very nicely. Please request everybody to hear this 4 lecture Guru Maharaj given. This is 2007 in Mayapur. He spoke on Nectar of Instruction, preface, 4 lectures. Very nicely explained. I'll briefly say a few words about that. Guru Maharaj said that we are followers of 6 Goswamis. We are known as Rupa Nugas. Of all followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are known as Rupa Nugas. Why Rupa Nugas? Because why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He came to give us what? What is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's coming? To give love of God. Fine. Then give me some more details. To give the holy name, the means how to achieve love of God. Holy name, Nama Sankirtan. Then, these are external reasons. Why he came? Because Advaita Acharya called him, your devotee called him, so he came. Right. So now he also came to fulfill his desires, to relish. What is the nectar of his devotees serving him? Krishna is supreme enjoyer. He is supreme Bhagavan. Supreme enjoyer means he enjoys everything. Now to test how his devotee is relishing Krishna Bhakti, he comes as a devotee. This is very amazing. There is no religion in the world has anything like this explained. Nobody has this. That Bhagavan comes as a worshipper of Bhagavan, to relish what that means to worship God. And also to show, this is how to worship God. Correct? Not only he is relishing, but who knows better than Bhagavan what is pleasing him most? Nobody knows better than him. So when he comes as a devotee, he'll practice the topmost devotion. That one which gives most pleasure to Krishna. He's not going to go for anything secondary. And what is that? This is the unique contribution of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is that Madhurya Rasa, Anuttojvala Rasa, Ujjvala Rasa, Shingara Rasa. That Prem Bhakti he came to deliver. This is what actually he delivered, that gift. And that was explained to Rupa Goswāmī. And Rupa Goswāmī gives the book which takes us from sadhaka, Upadesa-prakasika, to the love of in Anuttojvala Rasa, in Madhurya Rasa of Gopis and Radharani. This is what he gives in, looks simple, small book, Upadesa-prakasika. But this is what the book delivers. From the first step, Vācavegam, Manasakrodavegam, control mind and the senses, to the last book. Recite on Radha Kund, submerge in the love of God and Prem Bhakti of the Gopis, 11 shlokas, 11 verses are there. And journey is from sadhaka to the bhavuka. Yeah? This is amazing. That's why we are Rupanugas. We are following his teachings, Rupanugas. Okay, so here, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Maharaj said, why not Chaitanya Vaishnavas? Why Gaudiya Vaishnavas? So he gives this, just a second, I'll just show the shloka. Okay, here. Anarpita charim chirat karunayavati nakalo samarpayitum unatojula rasam svabhakti shriyam. So here, this is the explanation that the shloka goes like this. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachidevi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chamber of my heart. Resplendent with radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in Dejo Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. The most sublime, radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So this is called Anuttojvala Rasa. And that also, not only Anuttojvala Rasa, but that also love in separation. The highest of the highest. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is what is the gift of Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī. Therefore, we can see in the Mangala Charana, first prayer after Om Jnana Timirandasya comes the prayer. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kharamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Then when will Rupa Goswami bless me, bestow upon us blessing? Rupa Goswami. Who is Rupa Goswami? One, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, who could understand mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He understood what is the pleasing to Krishna. This higher rasa, Anuttojvala Rasa. He came to guide us how to come to that platform. He wants to make everyone lover of God in the highest rasa. And he given the means. So without following Rupa Goswami, you cannot become devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are not follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are not following Rupa Goswami. It's not possible. It's not possible to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without following instructions of Śrīla Rupa Goswami. It's not possible. Because he understood mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so this is some little comments. Here, Rupa Goswami and Swarup Damodar, These two are described in Chaitanya Charitamrita as people who understood the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Swarup Damodar wrote it in his own diary and kept it like that. Based on these diaries of Murari Gupta and Swarup Damodar, Chaitanya Charitamrita book is written. But because Rupa Goswami was instructed to write the books, he elaborated. He is the one who actually these teachings and mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his secret desire to distribute Madhurya Rasa to everyone. He wrote it in the book for our benefit. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this is Ujjvala Nilaman. These are all the books. All the Tattva books are meant to convince us to understand that Krishna is supreme and that to develop desire in us, faith and desire in us to surrender to Krishna. And then sadhana books, how to practice. And then Rasika books, how to invoke that love of God. Okay, so the Rupa Goswami. On this basis, Chaitanya Charitamrita is written, and the highest understanding of God is revealed. So, what is that? That is also very unique for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, unique for Vedic literature, but particular for Gaudiya Vaishnava. That concept of God, that God wants to be seen as an object of one's love, not the object of one's awe and reverence. Any other religion, if you come, you ask, what is the love of God? Yes, God is great, we are small, God is our Father, we are His sons, God is supreme, we are His servants. No? But here, through the Rupa Goswami, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna expressed himself. I want to be seen like this, lover of my devotees, object of their love. So this concept of Ashraya and Vishaya, this is explained only by Gaudiya Vaishnavas. That one who holds love of God and one who is object of love of God. Ashraya, devotee, who holds love of God in his heart, and Vishaya, Krishna as the object. Now here we have very unique combination in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Vishaya becomes Ashraya. So this is all explained by Goswamis. This is amazing. There is no concept, and Krishna wants to be known like that. Srila Prabhupada explains that Krishna likes more scoldings of his mother, Yashoda Mai, than thousands of prayers offered by the rishis in over-reverence in Dāsa. He likes more scoldings of Mother Yashoda. So this is Gaudiya Vaishnava only deal with this. You will find it in Tirupavai, you will find it in different scriptures also, here and there. But our Goswami, the Rupa Goswami, he elaborates this higher rasas with Krishna. The Sakya rasa, the Vatsalya, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. Actually, Gaudiya Vaishnava, if you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, only 4 rasas are mentioned. Shanta rasa is not even discussed. It's just dismissed. Because the service starts with Dasya rasa. In Shanta rasa there is appreciation of the Lord, but there is no service. Shanta rasa, you can become Krishna's garland, you can become Krishna's flute, you can become a river, you can become a tree, you can become a cow. In Swarupa, you can go to spiritual world, you can go to Vrindavan, to Goloka. But Gaudiya Vaishnava says with Dasya rasa service starts. And Dasya of Vrindavan is different from Dasya in Dwaraka, is different from Dasya in Ayodhya, is different from Dasya in Vaikuntha, is different from Dasya of Devatas in this material world. Sakya of Arjuna is different from Sakya of Sridham and Sudam, Krishna's associates in Vrindavan. So this is what is explained by Srila Rupa Goswami. So this is our movement is all about that. It's all about how to develop love for God in the mood of gopis. So this is very exalted for us, no? Srila Prabhupada gave another example, like Prime Minister of England. Prime Minister of England is a big figure. And British people are quite formal in their dealings. There is codex. It means British minister. The way you are dressed, the way you talk to him, the way you are polite, the way you approach, and the whole procedure. It's a big drama, you may say. It's a big thing, But then the same Prime Minister was playing with his grandson as a horse. Prabhupada. So what that means? That he will kneel on his hands and legs, and his grandson will sit on his back and, come on, fast. So same Prime Minister has his private life, and he has official life, official figure. So here the Goswāmis of Vrindavan, particularly Rupa Goswami, reveals that intimate, the private life of God. Where you hear this, the private life of God, not that we know the God, we know His inner feelings, desires, dealings, and nobody, no scripture will describe this than the books of Goswāmis of Vrindavan. Nowhere you will find. You will find here and there some hints. Nobody talks about it, nobody explains. The feeling of God. How do we know the Bible is word of God? How do we know Gita is word of God? What we know word of God? We know His thoughts. We know what He thinks. That is revealed by His eternal associates. This much we know. Whether this is word of God or not. You debate as much as you like whether this is word of God or not. Whether this is thought of God or not. Whether this is His desire, His inner feeling, how He will respond, how He will behave. This is explained by Goswāmis. This is book Isha-Upanishad, we are distributing. Shri Isha-Upanishad. Take one small book, 20 rupees. Take one small book, 20 rupees. The book, you know what it's book? The key of spiritual world. Small tiny book looking like, but nothing tiny inside. The spiritual empire is living inside. It's amazing, most amazing book. So therefore we are Upanugas. And also, why we are Upanugas? Guru Maharaj explains, because we are not Chaitanya Nugas. We can't be direct servants of the God. We are followers of His followers. Therefore Upanugas. It's more pleasing to God to declare Rupanuga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, oh, who is that? He declared he's Rupanuga. He's following my Rupa Goswami. Immediately you get mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you say, I'm Chaitanya's follower. Okay, let me see. 4 principles. No? You will be more strict, correct? But here more immediately mercy is invoked. I'm follower of Chaitanya's followers. This is so amazing. This is what invokes mercy. And this is Vaishnava. Krishna says, it's not my devotee one who claims to be my devotee, but dāsa, 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 anudas. Correct? Kopi Bhattu Pada Kamalayo, dāsa, 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 anudas. This is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So everything makes sense. No? We are not calling ourselves doing Prabhupada Nugas. Of course we are Prabhupada Nugas, nothing else than Prabhupada Nugas. No? We can't claim ourselves, we are Upanugas. Yeah? But Prabhupada says we are Upanugas, so we are Upanugas. And don't worry, Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī Prabhupāda, Śrīla Sanatana Goswāmī Prabhupāda, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura Goswāmī Prabhupāda, Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. These are all our Prabhus. These are great Goswāmis. These are eternal associates of the Lord. Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari. Eternal Rupa Manjari, one of the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna. This is who is our Acharya. And one day, one family came from Bangalore, and they said, what are the dates? They said, this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is Lord Nityananda. Oh, Chaitanya, we heard about Lord Chaitanya. Great, yeah. So he's brought Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you see, position, singing and dancing, Krishna Sankirtana, he propagated. Oh, we love Sankirtana. And then there's Lord Narasimha to protect devotees, and this is Shaligram, Tulasi Devi to give us bhakti, because Vrindavan is place of Krishna's pastimes. So, oh, nice. And these, and just before I say, who are these? Guru Parampara, he said, and these are the old wise saints. I stuck with old wise saints. Yes, they are old, they are wise. These are Rupa Manjari. Guna Manjari, Manjulari. These are eternal associates. These are gopis first next to Krishna in spiritual world. If Krishna is in the center of spiritual, Radha Krishna, the first 8 petals in Goloka are first 8 gopis. And these, our Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, these are the servants of the 8 principal gopis. The closest to Krishna in the spiritual world. So if you say, old wise saints, I will think about it, will I express it like that? Not just another saint, sadhu from India, no? Not some old sadhus from India. Not like that. These are not our acharyas. Are first next to Krishna. Never away from Krishna. Always serving Krishna in spiritual bodies. They have spiritual body in Chaitanya Lila. They have spiritual body in Krishna Lila. Please help anybody help the newcomers for darshan. Old wise saints. Not that they are not old and wise saints, but they are much more than that. These are the closest to Krishna. Who can tell you better about Krishna than one who is always with Krishna, who is seeing Krishna? Who can tell better? Nobody can tell better than them. Correct? Okay. So here, this is the Lord Chaitanya gave teachings to Goswamis, and they wrote books to define Sampradaya, to define our teachings, to define our attitude, to define our mood of worship. When we come and worship Radha Krishna, you see it's very personal, a particular way of dressing, particular way of offerings, cookings, pujas, which festivals we perform, which festivals we do not perform. Everything is explained. So now we know that Goswamis were so austere. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that they hardly slept. Raghunath Das Goswami, his eating habits. They almost stopped eating. No? Lokanath Goswami would stop eating, and only way they would feed him is in kirtan when he opened mouth. Haribo! Then they'll put something in his mouth just to keep body together, and he won't eat. It's amazing how they were renounced. No? Srila Prabhupada showed us himself that he didn't sleep. He didn't sleep. He would sleep 10 to 12. 10:30 to 12, then wake up, chant little japa, then go on translating books. Every day like this, traveling all over the world. It's amazing. He simply transcended the body. So we have these Goswamis living so still life, that it's you can't imitate unless one really transcends the bodily limit. You can't imitate this. What is their quality? What is their determination? Their dedication to Krishna? So they live 3 days under different trees. Hardly whatever little big shop they will eat. Otherwise they will not eat also. Many times they will forget eating. They will forget sleeping, just discussing all night about Radha and Krishna, about philosophy. But they forget, So how is this related to today ISKCON? Which is, look at our temples, marble, glittery, shining, gold. Yesterday we had SIDC meeting, South India Divisional Council meeting. And everybody saying, we are doing 50 crore project, we are doing 100 crore project, we are doing 50 crore project. In Salem, we are doing stone project. We had it was a joke, it was an upgradation. First year outpost called. Say we have small preaching going on somewhere in Namakkal. Our Namakkal and Ṭhākura classifies outposts of the mother. There is a temple, parent temple, and there is outpost. So outpost will be promoted to the extension center, and they have two devotees living inside and doing regular programs. Then when devotees become 5, 6, and they have Sunday feast and festivals, they become preaching center. Then preaching center is upgraded when it functions properly and have proper accounts and bank accounts and actually conducting all independently programs without support of parent temple, then becomes a full temple, So we have, of course, in Salem full temple status. So there were upgradations. So I requested, I said, please, can we get upgradation? So the Scholars Manu Maharaj said, upgradation? But you're already full temple. The Maharaj went from full temple to stone temple upgradation. Because we have stone temple. It was a joke. So, we are showing opulence. Look at this temple we are building. This is opulence. This is, 13 crores we spent on it. So where is the question of simplicity of Goswamis? Of course, you can see where we are sleeping. That is maybe more simple, but still, Goswamis don't have even mud hut. So how do we link to the Goswamis really? How we are followers? We are Rupanugars. And we come, look at our temples. ISKCON is famous in India for one thing. Opulent deity worship, opulent temples. Beautiful, clean temples. Correct? You see our Juhu temple, you see our Vrindavan temple, you see our Mayapur temple, see Hyderabad temple, see Ahmedabad temple, see Baroda temple, see our Bangalore temple, which was our temple, but it's not, I don't know. No, you tell me, before coming to ISKCON as an Indian, what you felt about ISKCON? Opulence, filthy rich. Even today we cannot collect donation. Somebody said yesterday, they went to the Wipro. ISKCON, you people also collecting donations. You have so much money, but we have because we are collecting. They think we are just pumping money from America or something. They don't understand how it works. But they can't believe that we can generate so much money. They simply cannot relate to it. So how is this related? How we are related to Goswāmis who are so austere and they, have their kamandalu, have their kopi, one piece of dress, ekavastra. Yukta Vairagya. Yes, exactly. So that is the point. That for sake of preaching, for sake of attracting people, they asked Prabhupada, why you are building this big temple? Prabhupada, I was sitting under the tree, but you did not come. Now you are coming. So we are talking to you. Same thing we are speaking, but you did not come when we are under the tree. And it's a fact. It's a fact. Correct? It's a fact. People are attracted. We are making pillars. Already people are coming taking selfies with the pillars. We should put board. If you take selfie with pillar, you become pillar next life. Warning you. Anyway, let them come for pillar. Then we'll catch them, feed them prasadam, give them holy name, let them have darshan, give them some service. Last we have one small booth for shaving. Free shaving. It's called a big project, investing in the free shaving. Okay, so this is explained by Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Goswāmī, that actually, that principle of Yukta Vairagya, that this famous Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha and Falgu Vairagya, these two shlokas were printed by Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Goswāmī on every magazine he published. These two shlokas were printed, Yukta Vairagya, that everything could be utilized in Krishna service, but should not be utilized in our service. We should not be self-gratifiers in the name of Yukta Vairagya. He himself came in Radha-kund with a car, with western dress, shoes. Came to Radha-kund and gave discourses on Upanishads classes on Radha-kund. All local Babajis were pulling their hair. This is Rasastali, this is place of Radha Krishna Lila. Why is this Jnani, he came contaminated with tattva, he is speaking Upanishads. But Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, when he spoke, they all of them kept quiet. Because he exposed all of them in the name of rasa, doing sense gratification, in Radha-kund, in the holiest spot. So it's amazing what Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur instituted. And then they were set up for Rupa Goswami given teachings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given instruction, Rupa Goswami given teaching, Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur made explained the Yukta Vairagya. Everything was set up for Srila Prabhupada to spread it everywhere. Everything was set up. Nothing new to introduce, just he launched it, just spread it all over the world. In short time, 12 years, 65 to 77. No religion spread so fast and had such an impact on people as this Krishna consciousness movement. Nobody could do this. And what Prabhupada did, contributed literary work, contributed his books, basis of this movement, teachings of Rupa Goswami. So we don't change anything. We don't introduce new things, we don't change new philosophy, everything is given delineated clearly by previous acharyas and by Srila Prabhupada. So here, this is the essence of teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given to us by Srila Rupa Goswami. This is the process from sadhaka to achieve perfection. For us, neophytes, how to achieve perfection, this Upadesa-prakasika book is given. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, to achieve the highest success in life by becoming Goswami, and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow instructions of Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī, known as Upadesa-prakasika. So this is the explanation. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura says that in Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed in Antya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is explained. He showed the Prayojana Tattva. He showed how it looks like love of God. What is it? What is the Sambandha? He given the teaching, who am I, who is God, what is our relation? Jiva Swarupa, Krishna Nityadas. I'm eternal servant of Krishna. Fine. Then how to act? Bhakti. By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by following the principles, by surrendering Krishna Ṭhākura Cheshtita, by everything using Krishna's service, not for our sense gratification, and chanting the holy name, one will have love of God. He given it. But now Prayojana, the love of God itself, he shown by his own example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the symptoms of love of God. What is listed in the Vedas, what is described in Vedas, and more which is not even described by the Vedas, he was showing such a symptoms of love of God. So once in performing his pastimes in the Puri, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to transcendental ecstasy of love of God, and he was surrounded by his devotees. So to bring him back, they would chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura narrated this. He says, it was like that there was a lila when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fully in trance of love of God, and devotees came and chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare, to bring him back to the consciousness, external consciousness. There is the external consciousness, internal consciousness, there's no difference for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But apparently he was fully in the Krishna lila, and then when he came external consciousness, that was his Sankirtan lila. Correct? Then he spoke, after coming out of the transcendental ecstasy, which he never comes out in the one way. He spoke to his followers, and Rupa Goswami was there hearing this. Based on these instructions, Upadesa-prakasika was written. The notes Rupa Goswami made that time, and based on this instruction, this book, Upadesa-prakasika was written. So this is one information here about Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Ṭhākura. Okay, thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai.